Let's go back there now. We've re-established that connection. Dr. Motsoaledi is still speaking.
And let's see who is stateless. Because we agreed with United Nations when we met with the Deputy High Commissioner for Protection, Ms. Trillian Weeks, on the 24th of January, I mean to say. And we discussed this issue. If a person is stateless, we are obliged to give them statehood because United Nations doesn't allow statelessness. Please bring the people who are stateless. I've had many times this issue of stateless. For instance, there are people who marched to Home Affairs, I think in December, and demanding that we give every child who is born here by a foreign missionary birth certificates because we are rendering them stateless. That's not true. The United Nations, we gave them the story, and together we released a press statement where they were saying South Africa is not obliged to give anybody a birth certificate simply because they were born here. Doesn't happen like that, because the law we are following is called jus sanguinis, which is followed by many countries all over the world. The right of birth by your parents, not by the geography of where you are born, is called jus sanguinis. The one you are mentioning by geography, which is called jus soli, is practiced in the US, and there's a reason that they are doing that. In the East, in Asia, it's only practiced in Pakistan. On the African continent, it's only practiced in Lesotho, Chad, and Tanzania. The others are doing what you are doing, jus soli. Who gave birth to you? Geographical, not geographical, where you were born. And it went on to say South Africa is not obliged to do that unless they can be a proof that somebody is stateless. I've even heard the people who were on the Zimbabwe exemption permit say we are going to render them stateless. How do we render somebody stateless because they were here for 10 years and they go to Zimbabwe every December and they had files, and before they were given the exemption permits, they had to produce police clearance from Zimbabwe. That's why we have got records, that's why we know the number, and that's why we wrote them letters, all of them one by one. So please, Linda, anybody who's stateless, bring them here. Let's see them. Please.
Just one, Cressida.
Yes,
this statement is very insensitive.
I'd love to show it to you, Minister.
No, I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying it's a very insensitive statement. We're trying to put off fires here, and some people, they should have approached us. In South Africa, we've got 11,000 foreign nationals in our prisons. 11,000 in our prisons. And I can go to you according to their nationals there. Maybe this statement comes from the country that is leading on those figures. So it's an insensitive statement, and as we stand here, I'm not going to take the statement. Maybe the time has come that we speak to DECO to invite those people to tell them what is happening. Some of the officials who claim to coming from the offices of Zimbabwe were rejected by the very same people that they came to. You were there. They say, we don't know them, they chase us, they come to talk to us. So they shouldn't come and sugarcoat their politics using this situation, which is a very terrible. We're trying to put off fires here in a very serious way.
So we condemn it, Minister?
Very condemn it in totality.
And to add, yes, that's exactly what I've heard the people saying here. Yes, that this is what Zimbabweans are telling us. They were complaining that they are telling them that you are fools, your government are fools, you will never do this in our country. Now here we hear it from leaders. If it's true, it's from them. This is, I agree with the minister, is grossly insane. It's just going to make the fires worse, because these people here are angry, and we are trying to make them to feel human and all that. When they see statements like this, the anger will even be worse. Because, look, you are talking the death of Elvis, and I had all the media interviewing the wife and the children and all that. But they were asking us here, what about their relatives who have died? And we don't want this.
News was there today.
No, they were telling us.
South Africans.
No, I'm telling you about what I was told here. You were not there, Griselda. I'm just telling you what they told us, and I've got no. You were not allowed, and I've got no reason to say they are lying, because I was listening to them. I was just telling you. Now, when statements like this come, it's very easy to difficult to cool them down. They'll say, you see now. even leaders are saying this, because why didn't they talk to us and they start tweeting? They are actually poking people in the eyes with their, with their fingers, like what we've been told here, or they are being told that every day in their houses. And people are pointing these fingers at the minister. Are you proud that I have to hide my children under the bed? Are you proud that I have to hide my children in a locker? Are you proud that in my own house I'm scared? One lady was telling us here that they are hunting her, and she wants protection because they say she speaks too much. She speaks too much. They were saying, where is that petty woman who talks all the time? We'll show her what we are made of. Those are very irresponsible statements, and we don't want leaders to come with irresponsible statements also.
Madam Chair, Minister, there's last question from leader.
Last question to...
Okay, I just want to question here, please. I heard you speaking about, Motsoaledi from Eyewitness News, I heard you speaking, Minister, about going into the houses in Diepsloot as well. I wanted to know, what are you planning on doing as police to prevent the infringement on human rights? We don't want a Kogasambe type of situation. So what is the plan? What have they been deployed to do as they enter the household today? And the last question there,
it's along the same lines, Two Ministers. Those who are knocking on people's doors, asking people to produce IDs and stuff like that, obviously that can be acceptable, yeah?
Well, it's illegal for anybody to do that. The president has actually said that. The president of this country, many times, is illegal. And even the people here, we told them it's illegal. Because there are people who are authorized by law to do that. If immigration officials do that, that's not illegal. They are in uniform, that is their job. If the police do that, it's not illegal. It's nothing about human rights. It's the work of police to go on, especially where they were tipped off. These people were giving us tips off. Go to this house, go there. We are going to go. That's not illegal. It's not about human rights. It's combating crime and illegality, which must not be happening. But if it's done by members of the public, yes, it's illegal, and we've condemned it many times. And even here, we've told them they must never do it, because then it will be vigilantism. It will be the law of the jungle. But when it's done by law enforcement agencies, it has got nothing to do with human rights. It's what must happen, and it's going to happen.
Loud and clear, Minister.
Okay. No.
Right.
That's perfect. That's perfect. We'll be there. We'll be there.
Thank you very much, Minister of Police.
Thank you very much, Minister. Bheki, Cele, Minister of Police, Rabben, and of course the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Motsoaledi, speaking as well on that latest statement that was released by a political party in Zimbabwe, being ZANU-PF, particularly questioning around whether there's a witch hunt targeting some of the foreign nationals here in the country. But both ministers have made it quite clear that there isn't such thing of a nature, actually condemning that statement to the fullest. But we've also heard how there is now some programs that will be enforced for the next 3 months to ensure that the rule of law does prevail here in the community of Diepsloot. But as it is right now, community members seem to be quite happy with the results, and rather the meeting that took place with the ministers. And as we've heard, there were some gruesome stories coming out of that meeting, which the ministers believe they need to go back to the drawing board and try to address. They were locked in there for about 4 hours trying to get some of the issues that community members are, of course, raising. But at the core of this issue as well, it seems as though there is the importance of having to ensure that more police officials are deployed to ensure that they can instill stability in this area and alleviate some of the criminal activities that have been taking place here, particularly those targeted mainly as well at women and children, and of course the issue of ensuring that the Home Affairs officials co-opt and work hand in hand with police officials and try to ensure that they are foreign nationals who are compliant to the rule of law and have the correct particulars when residing in South Africa.
We'll keep talking to you just for a short while the ministers are leaving. Thank you very much for staying on. That was really bringing live event as it was happening there with the minister walking from one point to the other. We managed to stay with you all along, and we appreciate that. Now, just on some of the points that I've picked up, just to emphasize some of them, this statement was issued by ZANU-PF. Let's just start there. That was referred to a question by the Minister Bheki, clearly describing it as insensitive.
Do you have definitely, and he also said that maybe this is a matter that now needs to be discussed, and you know, Durka officials should be made aware about this. But of course, we do know that he's an ANC party leader as well, and these could be some of the issues that are raised during the ANC's National Working Committee to say, how does then the party then communicate these political issues with other parties in the SADC regions, particularly with ZANU-PF, who are a neighboring country which are from Zimbabwe as well. And of course, the Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Motsoaledi, said these are the kind of issues that really need to be dealt with because they corroborate with what they actually heard from the stories that were coming from some of the residents inside the meeting. And he's also dubbed it as arrogance, saying that this should be dealt with swiftly and that parties such as ZANU-PF should have their delegates come to the country and they should discuss with them some of these issues. I mean, it's no secret, like we've heard there, some of those who were behind the criminal activities that took place and the murder of some of those who were murdered here in Diepsloot. The 5 individuals are, of course, linked to foreign nationals behind the crimes, and these are some of the issues that the police ministers say they cannot turn a blind eye to. He says call a spade, and the crime is crime, but they cannot leave these issues unattended to, and that such statements are actually misleading and insensitive, saying that Durka should actually be notified about this and there should be a meeting with some of the delegates from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.